All right, we're recording. So it is January 23rd, which is crazy that the month is already almost over, first month of the year. And this is our second Team Dual Happy and Team Tough Love call. And I think we're going to just keep these on Thursdays, keep pouring knowledge into you guys, keep recording them. And the hope is just to bring you different speakers, different topics, different things that I know that you guys have asked for, so we can make sure that you're able to not only start to feel more comfortable with your own business and just breaking down barriers, but also pushing it forward and hitting those goals that you guys all have. So one reminder, summit tickets are still on sale this entire month. So make sure, if there's one thing that's a non-negotiable in this business, it's get to summit. Live events, there's only a handful of them throughout the year. There's the quarterly ones and then the annual summit. But it is such a great thing for your business. It's such an awesome way to obviously meet the people that you talk to every day. But more than that, you have the opportunity to be around so many incredible, talented people in this business that can really help you level up, essentially. So make sure you get your ticket. Awesome time to get it because it's discounted the entire month. With that, Mel, anything you want to add from your bed?
Just here for the party.
Awesome.
Team Cup.
Oh, Team Cup, yes. So Team Cup is starting in February. I think Mel's gone live and talked to you guys about it on her team, and I know I've talked to my girls about it. But a lot of you all are already on a team. If you're in my group, Mel, I'm not sure what you guys have teams yet?
Yeah, well, a couple of the people who have touched base.
Okay, well, if you don't have a team, or if you haven't been contacted, if you've told us that you want to be on a team and you haven't been contacted yet, talk to me or Mel. We'll make sure we get you on a team, but you should be in the works of getting on a team. And if you aren't on a team and you haven't said anything about wanting to be on a team, seriously consider it. I don't care if you're, watching this recording and not even like actively coaching yet, but you're, trying to get there. It's a great way to kickstart your journey because you're going to be surrounded by people who are going to help push you and get you to where, you want to be. So it's no matter what your goals are, Team Cup is a great way to just get there. And like the likelihood of you surpassing that goal is very high because you've got some awesome cheerleaders there to help you every step of the way. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to AnneMarie. AnneMarie is a 1-star diamond, I believe, a newer mom. She's got a cute, adorable little girl. How long have you been coaching?
Oh, too long.
So she's been coaching for a while, but AnneMarie is someone that I truly look up to in this business. I know a lot of people do because she does bring the fire. She's super passionate. If you don't follow her, you should, but she speaks a lot of truth. I love someone who can just tell me what is it that I need to be doing? And she's someone who can bring that knowledge, who has so much credibility, and I just love to watch your journey. So excited to hear more about inviting, following up, because I think those are topics that, different people can tell you different ways to do it, but it's really great to get perspective from someone who's been doing it even a little bit longer, just to know, how do you stay motivated to do it, how important it is to do it every day, and how it can be truly the catalyst to move your business forward. So with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Like Kelsey said, my name's AnneMarie Kellan. I'm on Instagram as @AnneMarie Kellan. It's pretty easy. I have been a coach for 6 years almost, which is kind of crazy because I haven't really been a coach for 6 years. I kind of signed up for the discount and went in and out, had a lot of people that were just randomly interested in the beginning and got Success Club 38, my second month as a coach. And then kind of didn't really do much else with it for a really long time. Kind of went back and forth between this business, which is, I hate to say I regret doing that because it's our life, it's our journey, right? But I do wish that I did things a little bit differently. I am one of those people that I had yo-yoed back and forth between this business for a long time. And I will be the first one to tell you guys, when shit gets tough, this is the only constant that you have in your life. This is the one thing that you can seriously control. You have control of your invites. You have control of showing up on social media. I know that there are things in your journey that maybe you feel awkward about sharing, or things that you just don't feel comfortable sharing, and that's okay. There have been a lot of things in this past year. I'm a mom to a beautiful 13-month-old little girl. She was born after 3 years of trying via IVF, and she was born completely deaf. So I literally went through a shit storm last year, and 100% let it negatively impact my business. I couldn't get out of bed. I didn't show up on social media. I showed up on social media with like Instagram stories of my baby and kind of faking getting through the day. But on the inside, I was just like crushed and just did not really know how to get through day to day. I will tell you, like, the one thing I did have was my workouts, and I had my Energize, which got me through postpartum. But I do wish that I had showed up a little bit more, because as soon as I came out with sharing this story about my daughter, everything about this business changed for me. Once I was able to get out there and tell people, this is what is going on. We were praying that she was a candidate for cochlear implants, which she was, and in September was implanted bilaterally, both ears, and now she can hear like you and I. So it's been like such an incredible journey, but it took me like a solid 9 months to feel like things were going to be okay. So I'm just here to tell you, like, if you have a shitstorm going on right now, if you have had crazy things happen in your life and you've let it kind of stop you from this business, if there's anything I can say, just try your best not to. Try your best not to give up, because this community is the most, I will say, the most stable thing that I have had in my life for the last 6 years. And I have a really great set of friends. I have an amazing, amazing family, but there's something about this community that will absolutely change your life if you stick with it. Okay, so my little drama is over. Now I'm just going to get through. I figured this, people do calls every single day, and they kind of just share with you what they are doing. And I feel like that's probably the most important thing that I can share with you. Just kind of my day-to-day, step-by-step, what I do every single day. So as soon as I wake up in the morning, which I get on like with that early no snooze crew, girls, super early. I mean, my baby just went to bed. Normally she doesn't go to bed till like super late. I get up at about 3:55 in the morning is when my alarm goes off. I'm up, pre-workout, workout, do my business stuff. My very first thing I do is I write a to-do list. So not like I have to do all these things, but I plan out my day hour by hour. So literally it'll say 4 a.m. pre-workout, 4:15, send 15 invites, 4:45, whatever it might be. I go day by day. I go hour by hour, minute by minute. 5 o'clock to 5:30, get in my workout. 5:30, 6 o'clock, shower. Like, I'm not even kidding. These are things that I put on my hour to hour schedule, because if you don't follow something like that, it is so freaking easy to scroll Instagram, to dilly-dally in the morning, to snooze on your phone. I'm telling you, there's nothing worse than waking up at 5 o'clock when you were supposed to be up at 4, and you just lost 2 hours of like precious time, especially if you're someone that has a kid or 2 or 3. And you know that time is precious. And the best thing I've ever done since having my daughter is getting in this morning routine, because I used to be a night person where I would get my workout in the afternoon. For me, with my baby, that is just not an option anymore. I come home, she takes up so much of my time. She's absolutely incredible, and I want to spend that time with her because I'm a full-time teacher as well. So for me, I go to work all day. When I come home, the last thing I want to do is say, shit, now I have like 20 invites that I have to send. It's just, to me, I want that done. You ever read the book Eat That Frog? Like, I want that done first thing in the morning. I want to get that over with. And I shouldn't say get that over with, because actually inviting to me has become, like, especially in like the last month or two, something I've been really passionate about, and I make it really easy breezy. It's not like 15 paragraphs. Like, I just started a new invite today that was simply, hey, I saw you catching a glimpse of my story. Were you here to cheer me on, or were you actually interested in maybe joining me in a challenge group or something? Let me know what you think. And I've already had 6 responses out of 15 invites that I sent this morning. So for me, that's actually pretty good. I mean, half of us know that if you send 50 invites, you're lucky if 4 people respond. So just sending something short and simple. And I've had people that are literally like, hey, I really appreciate it, but right now it's just not a good time for me. And I'm like, that's fine. I'll totally check back in with you if that's cool. And they're like, yeah, that's great. I do want to say the one thing. So I love this. Yeah. So I just try to make it really simple. I was doing an invite that was like super long. And if it's a cold invite too, um, which I'm not going to lie, I like cold invites. I've had a lot of success. My 2 brand new coaches were both cold invites back in November. So don't feel scared to do cold invites as long as this is you're getting a cold invite from somebody that's following you and like is showing up on your Instagram stories. Like you could see that they've been watching you. My number one takeaway from this new group that I just joined, which I know that we all go into our Instagram stories and you check the story that you posted and it's like 200, 300, 400 people viewed it. And you're looking through and you're like, oh, I've already invited these people. I've invited these people. I've invited these people. The number one thing that I did 2 weeks ago is I went through one that had like a lot of traction. I wrote down every single person's name, every single person's Instagram handle, wrote them all down. Obviously, like not my sister and my brother and my mom or whoever, like family, I didn't really write down. But anybody else, even if I had invited them in the past and they said no, or I have to follow up with them, I wrote them down on a super long, like that yellow notepad paper. And I just wrote every single name. And it was like 4 pages long. But it has made it so easy for me. Literally since then, I have been able to do at least 10 to 15 invites a day just based on that. So I literally take the first 10 and I just invite them. If it's somebody I've already invited, I follow up with them. I've also made it a non-negotiable in my business that every day I send out at least 3 to 5 recruiting invites. Those are, to me, it makes me want to puke. Like that has always been something that's really nerve wracking to me. Cause you're like, okay, why? Like all I would think in my head was this person's going to be like, why the hell are they asking me to like be a coach? I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. But I'll be really honest with you. Like I've had people respond like, oh my God, I was an athlete in high school. Like I absolutely love the team vibe. I just don't know if it's something I'd be good at. And then bam, you have an entire open floor to talk to them about coaching, inviting them to a sneak peek, telling them about your journey as a coach, and amp that shit up. Tell them how amazing it is. Like you need to be here. Like it's not something that you can say no to. Like this is something you need to do. Does that always work? No. But am I passionate about it? Yes. So will I get people to join me by doing that? Absolutely. I want to look at my list really quick. So that's one way that I've found inviting people has been really easy. Another thing, when it comes to inviting, this is super important, guys. When you're doing, say you chose the number 10, you want to do 10 invites a day. You cannot count a person you invited 3 weeks ago as a new invite. That's not an invite. That's a follow-up. I have seen people do this so much and it's not helpful to you. So if you've invited someone 3 weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, you cannot count that as a brand new invite. That's a follow-up. So for me on Fridays are my mass follow-ups. I do 40 follow-ups every Friday at least. That's my mass follow-up day. I do not count. And it's hard, guys. Like I know how easy it is to like want to just check off that list and just count the same person you did 3 weeks ago or 2 months ago as an invite because, well, I did invite them again. Yeah, but it's not new. So making sure that this is a brand new invite every single time that you're getting that certain amount of invites in. That has been a game changer. And it has been something that has forced me to grow my following and to start following other people to get like a bigger community. Because yeah, you're going to run out of people if you don't start creating more followers. So you want to just make sure every day, that's another thing on my to-do list, that I add followers every single day. And of course, if they don't follow me, I'm going to go back and I'm going to unfollow them. I don't make a huge list of who I've started following and who has followed me back. I don't take that. To me, that's a waste of time. It just takes too much time to do something like that. But I will unfollow people if I'm finding that they're not following me. Let me look at my list. Again, okay, this is objections. People who are inviting, guys, I actually should look at it because I literally just had a mom write me and I just like cannot wait to respond. She wrote to me, "Hey, Lovey, thanks so much for offering me the options. I started following you for your IVF journey as I was going through it also. We had a similar birthday for our babies. While some days I totally need to get my butt up and work out, I have found eating better and chasing after my toddlers enough for me at the moment. Thanks again, though. I will always keep it in mind." Like, I would never in a million years be like, "Oh my God, totally get it. That's a great workout." Like, no. I'm going to be messaging her and be like, "Do you have 20 minutes? Do you have 30 minutes a day? Like, could you get up before your baby?" Or I'll ask her, "Oh, that's awesome. Like, what nutrition program are you following?" Because my guess is she's eating the scraps of her baby's grilled cheese, like we all have done. So for me, that I don't ever stop. I like love objections. And that's something that I constantly am telling my new coaches or even my coaches for forever. Message me when somebody gives you an objection that you don't know how to handle, because I will crush it. And this is one of those things though, in the beginning of my business, I was like, "Oh, okay, sorry, I'll talk to you later. Hope you have a great life." Like, I just wouldn't respond to them. And I don't do that anymore. Like, I will say whatever I have to say to make you think twice. And I have had so many people, even if it's 8 months later, come back to me. Christina Cashman, anybody on that call the other day? Team Boom call? She's my personally sponsored coach. She didn't join me. It took her 8 months. It took her 8 months to write me back after follow up. Like, that girl was like, she wrote me about 12 paragraphs about how she wasn't sure Shakeology was for her. This is Christina Cashman we're talking about. Literally, she wrote me like, "Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's good." And then all of a sudden she wrote me finally like, "Dude, I was just like researching, trying to find bad things about Shakeology, but I can't find anything. Like, let's do this." And then she randomly just decided to join up as a coach without even telling me. And I was like freaking out and had to like switch her leg that she was on. But like, that is the importance of objections. And she'll even say it like, "Yeah, you just like fucking battled me." Like, everything she wanted to say, I just went back at. Like, nope. She was a nurse. I mean, she knows health and fitness, right? But I just kept going until she joined my team. And like, now she's a friggin' gold ship. So that was amazing. But I do that with every single person that I come into contact with, because if you're really going to tell me that you don't have time, like, I mean, do I want to be waking up at 4:00 in the morning? Really not even close. Like, not at all. I'm still showing up, even though I haven't announced yet, but I'm pregnant. I am almost 11 weeks pregnant, and I've still been showing up every day at like, it's getting a little, this first trimester has been a little rough. I've been kind of exhausted, but up until like this week, I was getting up on the call at like 4 or 5 o'clock. This week, I kind of took a little hiatus because I like literally could not open my eyes. But I was still getting on. I was still trying my best to get my workout in and getting shit done, because guys, like, I have one baby that I want to be with. Not only is she, has like speech therapy and goes to a school for the deaf, and she has physical therapy, and I miss every single appointment, and my husband's the only one that gets to go. So talk about like a driving force to really make me want to get this business like the number one thing in my life, and to fucking stay home with my kid and future child. It's just, there's really nothing more than I want to be home with them. And no, I'm not going to be home and that's all I'm going to be doing. Like, working this business, hustling until I'm matching my income with my teaching job, and then saying goodbye to teaching and just having the best life ever. These are goals that I have, and I have put them on the back burner. And it's just that time in my life where I'm like, my why is so strong. And you have to really dig deep for that why, because there was a really long time where I was just like, I want to make money. And it's like, is that enough though? Like, if you have a financially stable job, is you saying that you want to be in this business to make more money really something that is going to drive you? There are many people out there that are motivated strictly by money, and that is amazing. But for me, I mean, I married a musician. I didn't marry a lawyer, like, money has never really been something that I like really, really cared about, but I want to be home with my kid, and money is what's going to get me there. So having a really strong why is something else, guys, that you have to focus on. this is something, personal development will help you there too. Like, listen to personal development every single day. I listen to 2 hours of personal development a day. My commute is super long. I get like 2 to 3 books in a week. Total Money Makeover is one I'm reading right now. And The Go-Giver, if you guys have not listened to The Go-Giver, it's a book that, Kelsey, have you listened to it? Yeah. Like,
yeah, I have. It's awesome.
changed, literally I just finished it the other day, and it only took me like a day and a half because it's only like 3 hours. It is incredible, guys. Like, it talks about how you have to give more than you're expecting to receive in life in general. And it makes so much sense for us as Beachbody coaches that we need to pour our hearts into our challengers, into our team, into our groups, into our coaches as much as we can. And yes, we want to get something in return, but our job is not to expect to get everything in return. Just because we get one challenger doesn't make us rich, right? But getting that one challenger to lose 100 pounds is the most amazing thing that you can ever do. And eventually, with this ripple effect, it will it will lead you to have financial freedom. But putting other people before you and having an impact on other people more than you're even having an impact on yourself is one of the most important things in this business. Okay, let me look. So on top of my invites and then my follow-ups on Fridays, I also have a section of my to-do list that is new conversations. So yes, I do cold invites, but I also, with my new followers, will start a brand new conversation. This doesn't have to be me on their page, because I'm not going to lie, sometimes I find it a little awkward. And I've done it a million times, like the whole, hey, just so you started following me, like, really love when I get people, showing me love on my stories, whatever. Like, that's fine if you do that. I've done it before. I don't think it's me. So I have kind of veered away from that. And now my new conversations start by, I have a new follower. I'm going to go to their page and I'm going to comment on something that they've posted. Or I'm going to see their Instagram. Sorry, I have a piece of hair in my mouth. It's probably my daughter's. I'm going to see a picture that they posted in their Instagram stories, and I'm going to comment on it. And I'm not going to comment on it if I don't like it. Like, if I look at somebody's page and I'm like, oof, this is not my person. Like, I could just tell that they're not my whatever. I'm not wasting my time. And I know that sounds terrible, but like, there's just certain people you might know that you're not going to mesh with. So I'll unfollow them and I will go to the next person. And of course, I'm not saying you can't give people a chance, but if you see somebody that's just posting negativity, or like their profile says like, no DMs, like, I'm not going to keep following you and like comment on your Instagram stories, because you're probably a psychopath. So one of my biggest things, I go onto their Instagram stories, I'll comment there, I'll go onto their profile, I will be like, oh my God, your daughter's so cute. But I always make sure there's some sort of follow-up so that they're not just like hearting it, so that they have something to answer me. And that was another thing that I was just talking about. Oh shit, my computer's gonna die. In one of my new groups that I'm doing, having a comment on your post, making sure you're replying to those comments and like leading it into a bigger conversation is really important. I think Jatana Jackson was actually just talking about that on the call, but I found that something that really stuck with me and I've started doing, and now I'm seeing like more traction on my posts and more people commenting. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple different types of posts on social media, because this is super important. Every day, we're Beachbody coaches. People by now that are following you, they know you're a Beachbody coach. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday doesn't have to be a picture of you drinking Shakeology or you working out or you with your team. A lifestyle post is super important. I always make sure I have at least one of those a week, meaning we're human, guys. Like, you're eating an ice cream cone, or you're going to the park with your daughter or your son, or you're having a date night with your husband. That's important. That's a lifestyle post. An engagement post. Should I wear this or that? Would you rather this or that? Having a post on your page once a week that gets people to give their opinion, because people freaking love giving their opinion. It's their favorite thing to do. It just really is. And how easy is it for you to see somebody picked the same thing you would have picked and be like, oh my God, girl, I can't believe people were picking the other option. I'm totally with you. I'm team blue. I don't know. I'm just making this up. And then you start a conversation like that. Even if you've never met that person in your entire life, that just opens you up to being able to start a conversation with somebody in a way that's not creepy and awkward. You guys get what I'm saying? Okay. So engagement posts, lifestyle posts, coaching breadcrumb posts. So without saying, join me in my Beachbody team, be a coach with me. And we call it a breadcrumb because you're just like leaving a little trail of, you're like giving people a little taste of what your business is all about. So it could literally be you on your computer at the beach and you just make like a little comment about how, I don't know, it's really fun that I can take my business with me and just even get in 20 minutes and reconnect with some of the girls in my coach group or whatever it is. But you don't have to be like, hey, join my team. Those are for Sundays. So Sundays for me are about the coaching community. So posting on Sundays about the team, about you recruiting people. So that's more intentional. On Fridays, before and after photo doesn't have to be your body. So something before and after related can be a physical transformation, but not every Friday should be, or whatever day you choose to do it, not every single day should be physical. Could also be your mental and emotional health, like totally changing, or your fashion sense totally changing over the years, or hey, over here you were like drunk in college and now you have 4 kids, right? Like that before and after. So just giving people like a little taste of who you are. Those different kinds of posts are just great because it really lets people see all the different sides of you and that you're not just a Beachbody coach, because people are going to see that a lot in your stories and like once a week on your posts. Fridays, I said, are for follow-ups. Saturdays, I use my Saturday, even if it's just 2 hours, creating content. So anything that I want to post throughout the week, I take Saturday, whether it's in my coach group or my challenge group, and I schedule everything out. If I don't want to do an actual scheduled post, I at least will do it in like a Google Doc and have it all prepared to go. That way I could copy, paste, and it's good to go for the week. So taking one day over the weekend is really important to get your shit together so that on Tuesday night, you're like, oh my God, I haven't posted on social media yet. What the hell should I do? And if you give yourself Monday lifestyle, Tuesday engagement post, Wednesday coaching breadcrumb, Thursday, whatever, and you give yourself that, you have such an easier time running this business. I think I'm good. I don't know what else I wanted to say, but I don't, is that good, guys? Anything else?
I think all of those points go back to making inviting easier.
Yes. Not making it like a huge task. Like,
right.
Inviting should be fun. It should be natural. It shouldn't be like you feeling like you're going to puke every time you send somebody an invite to a challenge group.
Yeah. Because then so many times, like as a new coach, and it happens to all of us. It's like you send an invite and then they respond back and you're like, now what do I say?
What do I say? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like word vomit.
So it's like, it should just be a natural conversation like you would if, you know, they were your friend and they walked in on you while you were doing the workout and they're like, what is this? Like, right. You wouldn't second guess saying like, oh, it's just like I stream it online. What do you mean? It's like so
like
easy.
Netflix, duh.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, it's just explaining what it is, because I think we get so caught up in like, we know what it is. So we have a hard time explaining it.
I still have people that are like, I've never heard of Beachbody. And I'm like, are you living under a rock? Like, how have you never heard of this? But then you have to remember there's like billions of people in the world. Like,
right.
There's 400,000 coaches.
It's just like, all of it is like, it's just a spider web. It like, when you're open about what it is that we're doing, and it's, you don't want them to be able to say like, what's your boot camp? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Right.
Because if they're watching you or they're following you, they kind of have an idea of already what you're doing. Mm-hmm. It's just so funny because every single time they're like, oh yeah, what does it entail? And I'm like, well, this is the 4th time I've explained it to you. So
can you send me that list again? You're like, oh, copy paste.
Oh, okay. Say night.
So question, AnneMarie, when you like once you have an initial conversation going, obviously you're just talking like a normal person, but what are like, how do you approach your invite process? Do you like ask more questions for them? Do you just kind of lay it out to them? Like, what's your approach?
So it's always like a little bit different. Like for me, my followers are mainly people that have gone through infertility treatments, people that are new moms, people that are postpartum, people that are teachers. And I can't tell you the amount of teachers that have absolutely no time to work out, the amount of postpartum moms who are struggling with postpartum depression or not being able to lose the baby weight, or the moms who are trying to get pregnant. And a lot of the women who are trying to get pregnant might have PCOS, which has caused them weight gain, and they're trying to find healthier options. Like it usually just naturally ends up flowing into that. Or I can even say, like, what kind of things have you been doing to, what kind of things are you doing infertility wise? Right. And like a lot of them will say, oh, we did IUI, we did this. And I'm like, have you ever tried changing your diet up? And then we can get into a conversation like that. I don't prey on women with infertility. It was just such a huge part of my life that those people with those hashtag, whenever I hashtag that, I ended up getting followers naturally. So it's been kind of like an easy thing for me. Like there's never a harm in getting healthier. And for teachers, like I know 99% of teachers, they're not done when they're finished with the workday. Like we go home, we're grading papers, we're creating lesson plans, we're doing freaking data. Like it's all bullshit, but that's what our life is. And for me to get up, I have my coworkers like, oh my God, I could never get up at the time you do. I'm like, well, you don't have to. You can get up like an hour later. But also half of my friends who work with me, they live like 10 minutes from their job. I'm an hour commute. Like that's why I'm getting up that early. So you don't have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But to me, I'm just like, no, you actually can. Like you can. We all have the time. We're all exhausted. We all have a full schedule, but you can. My computer's about to die, so hold on 1 second and let me get my charger. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, that's such a good point though, Mel, because I think, and I tell this to all of my coaches too, and I think all of us know this or have heard this, but you should be able to talk to someone like in your inbox and it not really be like anything secret, because not that you're inviting someone to your boot camp every day, but you're sharing like breadcrumbs or like pictures of your Zoom or pictures of team calls or whatever,
You
your
know how
goal
many
is for that week.
friggin' messages I get with like, what's that yellow drink? Or people
Yeah.
be like, what's that orange drink? I'm like, are you colorblind? Right? Have you ever got that? Like, what's that green stuff you drink? I'm like, is that green? But like, I always love that question because I'm like, girl, you need this. And like being pregnant, I'm still able to drink it.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the beauties of this. Like you can have 200 milligrams of caffeine a day when you're pregnant. That's 2 scoops of Energize. 1 in the morning,
Yep.
one.
I drank it when I was, I always encourage someone like, because I attract a lot of like new moms and, like a lot of us, but yeah, talk to your doctor, but Energize I drank while I was breastfeeding and no problem.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing, like check with your doctor, but I also have an amazing link that I always send because there was like this one coach who did like all this research and got the okay from her doctor, and she posts every single ingredient and details every single ingredient, like everything about those ingredients. And it made me completely comfortable with drinking it during pregnancy.
You'll have to send me that or send us that link.
I always tell people going through infertility, they're like, oh, I got to ask my infertility doctor. I'm like, I walked into my infertility doctor, meeting him for the first time, and he was like, oh, Shakeology, because I was wearing a Shakeology sweatshirt, and he drank Shakeology. Like, he's like, that's like the best thing you could literally do for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, oh, it's like too many nutrients. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? But you're drinking a Diet Coke and eating McDonald's. Like, okay. Don't get me wrong. I love a good Diet Coke, and I love me some chicken nuggets. But, right, all in moderation. And people are doing those things while they're pregnant, like every single day. So don't tell me you can't drink Shakeology because you're pregnant.
And I had one other question. And if anyone has any questions, either ask them or put them in the chat, but just unmute yourself too. When you are adding followers, how do you do it? Like, what do you find is most successful for you?
Oh my God, I wrote a whole list of this and I forgot to tell you guys. Hold on. I literally wrote effective ways to add followers. So this is something that I learned today and I'm so pumped to start implementing it. So this new group I'm in, the one girl said something she's been doing is she's been, every time there's an ad pop up in her Instagram feed, Instagram is giving us ads based on what we seem to be interested in. So anybody who has liked those ads are people that probably have similar interests to you. So going to those ads, going to the people that have liked it and follow the shit out of them as long as they're from the United States, Canada, or UK. So that has been something I learned today. Haven't even implemented it yet, but I was really excited to share with you guys and I totally forgot. Yeah, so ad pop-ups, whether it's in your Instagram feed or in like your stories, going to those like pages, going to those posts, finding the people who like it and just start adding them. And then, of course, Instagram hashtag searches. Like when I found out my daughter was deaf and that she was going to be getting cochlear implants and stuff, cochlear implant kids rock is like a huge hashtag, or just cochlear implant mom, or whatever, Cochlear America, like the company, whatever it is. And I would just go on there and I have like, and I'm not going to lie, none of the moms, I don't think yet. One mom is like on the verge of ordering, but the rest of them haven't joined me yet, but I haven't even invited most of them yet because I've just kind of met them and I don't want them to feel like I'm prowling on them for Beachbody, because I am genuinely like making all of these friends and it's been like, to me, the most amazing thing that I could have ever done for myself. Like the fact that I have Beachbody, it has forced me to find people in like my niche, which is now, like being a mother to a baby that has cochlear implants. And I've got to like talk to all these women. And I've actually had women reach out to me and call me on the phone while they're crying that their baby just, they just found out that their baby's deaf and they don't know what to do. And I've been able to be like a shoulder to lean on now. But there's no doubt in my mind that so many of those women, because if you're dealing with what I was dealing with, you're definitely not taking care of yourself, because they're probably depressed. They're probably going through 80 billion emotions, and they're going to need something for themselves down the road if they're only 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks into this journey. So I know in a year from now and 6 months from now, they'll probably be like, I seriously need something for myself. And then we're going to have that bond. And who knows, they might end up being a coach one day. But that's been something that I've just, that I've really been grateful to this journey for. Like anything you're going through, guys, it could be anything. Like Melissa, your baby's got, the heart stuff going on. So I'm sure you're connecting with tons of moms like that. And doesn't mean they're joining you in a challenge group right now, but they definitely might in the future, because that mom's probably not taking care of themselves, especially if they didn't have a community like this before something happened to them. So,
yeah. Well, and also though, it's like I will use my feed to share my emotions, but you have to be on your stories sharing your struggles,
right,
because it's like you can't be like one in and one out on one thing and then expect your feed to, you can't hide behind your feed,
right.
what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, it can't be happy-go-lucky all the time. People won't believe that.
no, exactly. So it's like
you have to share the shit, even if you don't want to at first. And that's okay. Like Mel, you kept that to yourself until you had your baby.
Yeah.
And that was totally okay. But eventually you opened up. Like I posted that my baby failed her newborn hearing screening the day after she was born. We didn't find out she was officially deaf until she was like 5 weeks old. And I think it took me another week or two to share it with everybody, which was pretty quick. But I had people messaging me every day, like, whatever happened with your daughter with the hearing screening, blah, 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 blah. And I refused to respond to anybody because at that moment I couldn't. But eventually you do find a way to share that journey. And it's really important. You never know what life's going to hand you. Like this was the last thing. I mean, my husband, like I said, is full-time musician. To have a daughter that can't hear was like I don't even know how to explain it. We just like looked at each other and we were silent in the whole car ride home. Like, what do we do? She's never heard us tell her that we love her. And we just cried for like, I remember hearing my husband literally crying on the kitchen floor, and my husband doesn't cry. And I just was like, how are we going to get through this? Like, how are we going to make it through this? 9 months, 10 months, a year later, we're like, this kid was meant to be ours. Like, she is the fucking shit. Oh my God. Are there kids everywhere? I'm so sorry. But seriously, like, Everything
Yeah.
in life happens for a reason. If you can stay on this journey, stay. Even if you don't want to share everything, just try to stay on it, because I regret many things that I did not stay focused on, because I think it would have helped me.
Yeah, I
Because
mean, I think
what's the
even
alternative?
yeah, and it's like the community too. You just someone
Yeah.
was posting in our group the other day. It's you can push for goals and things like that, but don't forget about the journey too. Like,
Yeah.
I wake up
I think
on
it
the
was
wrong side of the
isolating, really, for me,
yeah,
because
and
I didn't know any other Beachbody coaches that had a deaf child. You know what I mean? I didn't know. It was the first deaf person I had ever met. Like, and now I have a student this year with bilateral cochlear implants in my class. Like, hi, universe, how did you just do that?
yeah.
Right? Like, was that not completely meant to be? Like, you would never know that he had cochlear implants. Like, it's the craziest thing. But yeah, it can be isolating. Like, things in your life can feel really isolating, but I think that's why. I mean, I remember Mel like FaceTiming me, and I like could barely get out of bed, but she would FaceTime me and be like, how are you doing? How's the baby? Like, and she was just there. And I think for me, like, even though I wasn't like inviting, she was kind of like almost pushing me, like not telling me to do anything, but just by being there, it made me like show up on social media and at least share what we were going through. Even if I wasn't constantly getting my invites in, or my workouts in, I was just showing up just enough to not be completely absent. But I wish I did a lot more than that.
Yeah, and I feel like when I invite, I mean, there are people that have told me no or just said not right now, but they still follow my journey like 2 years later. And
Yep.
I feel like I know them. And I know that I've been a point of inspiration for them, regardless if I've actually gotten paid by them. And I still am confident there's some that will join me eventually.
Oh, they will.
But it's just
100%.
like the community, whether they're your actual clients or like people. Like, I was so against meeting people on Instagram, but it's changed in so many ways. Like, I would have never. It's very isolating otherwise.
Yeah.
And if you can open your mind up to this is actually something that can do so much good for you, then like you just have to accept it, and then you can actually like really succeed.
Totally.
There's no negative
Yeah.
in any
Except
way.
getting way too sexy.
Way.
Sorry, I'm really
It
cheesy.
really isn't though.
Just kidding. Yeah.
It's like Zoolander. Sorry.
18 abs.
Exactly.
All right. Anyone else? Anyone got any questions? Anything?
What is like your guys' biggest struggle with inviting? Who to invite? Or what to say? Or like what? What is like the one thing that you like, okay, I'm gonna go sit down and invite, and then you get there and you're like, shit. Like, what is it? Is it you don't know?
If you feel like you're running out of people to invite to, you need to start following more. You need to get more followers.
Mm-hmm.
That's because you're not going to be able to invite if you don't have anyone to invite.
And it's actually,
what?
I think it's easier to invite people that you don't actually know.
So Chelsea, if your Instagram is all people you know from high school, you're not following enough. So get into your hashtags. I will never forget so guys, I'm like an OG. I've been a coach for really a long time. And when I started 6 years ago, people would be like, go to the side of your Facebook and click on your hometown, then click on your high school, and then friend all the people you can find there. Like, that's what we used to do. And now I'm like, hell no. I don't give a shit about anybody from high school. Like, I want to find everybody that I don't know, like, on this planet. That's who I want to find. I don't want to know that, oh yeah, you know my ex-boyfriend's cousin. No, unfollow. I don't really care that. I don't want to know people. I love meeting new people. Like, the best thing you can do is just start following. So Chelsea, for real, like, everybody go on and just follow. If they follow you and then you start talking to them and then they kind of just like are like fizzle out, or they just completely ignore you and they never, ever, 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 ever respond, and they're not watching your Instagram stories, unfollow them. But definitely look for your niche. Look for people that are in the same situation.
Nurses, basketball moms, boy mom, like everything that you are, that's what you want. You want someone who, I mean, me and Chelsea went to high school together. So like, but,
Listen, my coach Lori is my good guy friend's wife. Like,
yeah.
I didn't meet her until after college, and now she's awesome and I'm really pumped. But I don't even really talk, like he was like a friend from high school. We weren't like best friends. So it was never like awkward or anything. But I mean, it's cool if you have family and friends that want to do this with you. But I'm just saying, I remember starting Instagram where all I had were my 300 or 200 followers that were all my family and friends from high school, or like random people that I'll never speak to, or dudes. Like, I don't invite guys. I just don't. Like, they're not my niche. I'm not going to know what to say to you when you drop a barbell on your balls. Like, I can't. I don't know. Oh, there's a little baby right there. Jessica, can I see your baby? Oh, you are a nugget. Freaking cute. Who else has a question?
It gets easier. But it's never going to get easier until you start doing it. So, like, don't wait for something to happen and you're like, oh, now it's easy. Like, you have to go through the shit to get on the other side of it.
I'm going to look up. So, you said you don't really know what to say sometimes. So, Jessica, are you inviting mainly from Instagram? So, you can seriously... Did she just get kicked off? Oh, you just like switched location in here. Sorry, I couldn't see you anymore. So if you're really struggling with invites right now, I would really just start those new conversations that I was talking about earlier. Like if you're posting something and somebody comments, or if you have a new follower and you look at their page and you comment on their page and then they write back, you could totally privately message them and just start a new conversation. Like you don't have to right off the bat invite. But yeah, inviting is like what we have to do. But those new conversations are really key, guys, because those new conversations are going to lead to 3 weeks from now turning into invites, or a month from now turning into invites. And then that turning into a conversation, and then turning into a follow-up in a month later because they couldn't afford it that month. Like, and then a month after that, they finally join you. So it might take 4 months, 5 months, 2 years for that person to join you. But starting that conversation and getting an invite in. And it can be, like I said before, something as simple as, hey, I saw you catching glimpses of my story. Not sure if you were cheering me on or if you were interested in the boot camp that I have running. Let me know what you think and I'll give you some details. Something super simple like that. Or you don't even have to say, hey, I saw you were creepily watching me. You can just say something. I'm trying to, let me see what I have in my phone. Hey, not sure if you had a chance to, I love this one because especially if people are watching your stories, you know they got a chance to see what you posted, right? So you're kind of playing dumb. Does that mean? I don't know. And I always say, hey, I don't know if you had a chance to check on what's going on over here during the month of February or not, but I was just chatting about getting a handful of girls started in 2020 on their health and fitness journey. The more accountability, the merrier. Is this something you'd want me to break down in more details for you? If not, no biggie. I hope you're having an awesome week. So I think the saying, sometimes I put in the if not, no biggie thing, and sometimes I leave that out because that's like almost gives them like a reason to say no. So sometimes I don't put that in, but I'll just be like, or I'll say, is this something you want me to break down in more detail? Or I'll say something like, is it cool if I share the details with you? Because a lot of the times they'll literally just say with, yeah, you can share it. They're not saying like, no, I don't want to join you. Because I didn't really say you have to join me. But I'm saying, is it cool if I send you the details and you can let me know what you think? And then they're like, oh yeah, sure. I've had so many women be like, yeah, I mean, I definitely am in like a money crunch right now, but you can share it with me and I'll see what I can do, or I'll see if maybe it's something that'll work down the line. And then you've just like started that connection with that person, and maybe they'll join you then. Maybe they'll join you in a few months or a year from now. Just really getting that initial conversation started is really key.
And a genuine connection.
Yeah. But I also cold invite.
Right. But then it's also like you don't want to, not that you don't want to, but it hurts a little bit when like you get someone who randomly will be like, yeah, sure. Because there are people that will just like do it and they'll spend the money and then they'll never show up. And then you get so mad and you're like, no. Yeah. So then you have to ask yourself, like, well, is this my dream client anyways? Because ultimately you want to help other people who are like you, and you really want to help them. You want to make a difference. You want to feel that, like, you want to feel like you made a difference in someone's life. So the connection is super important.
Or I've had people that, and I won't lie, like in the beginning of my coaching stuff, that fall off the face of the earth, and I had to reality check myself and be like, where did I screw up?
Yeah.
And there have been times where like my challenge group was shitty or wasn't following up with them enough one-on-one. But it's a learning process. Like, it's a complete process that you have to just go through.
Mm-hmm.
And, one thing I was thinking about the other day, like, learn from my mistake. When I've been coaching for about 2.5 years, I would like hit Success Club, middle of the month or whatever, like sometime. And then I'm like, okay, hit Success Club. I'm good for the rest of the month. And
Right.
like, the problem with that approach is it's bad, but it's like you lose momentum. So it's like,
and you're losing those people that can join you in 2 months from now.
Right. And so my like best tip I would love to give anyone is like, you don't have to send 50 invites a day, but get in like those, 5, 10, 15, 20 invites, whatever you have available or whatever time you have available, at least 6 days a week. And then that way you never lose momentum. So yes, they might all ghost you, but at least like you are not losing the momentum yourself, because it is really hard to get motivated to invite when you haven't done it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So now it's like, I just make it a non-negotiable, but yeah, I just like, don't look at Success Club or something like that as like the end all be all, like just keep the momentum going. And another thing too, is like, I think, I don't know who talked about it on a team call recently, but if you get to the like end of January and you're already at Success Club or something, and then you're like, I'll save those people for February for Team Cup. Like, yeah, you could, or you could just keep that momentum going. Like, you're going to find your people if you're doing your vitals. Like, it's inevitable. Like, you will start to hit Success Club. You will start to see success if you're just doing, the vitals.
Totally. I agree.
Any other questions? This is so good,
Ashley,
AnneMarie.
really quick, I don't know if anybody follows Ashley McClellan. It's like not even a name you'd really like hear, but she's one of the people in the Josh Coates group, and she was like back and forth for so long, and then for 2 years straight, she literally did, and she still does, only 10 invites a day, but for 2 years straight. And for the last year, no, this is her second year, so she did it for 2 years straight, and then now the last 2 years she's hit elite and like makes a full 6-figure income.
Wow.
And she even will say, like, I still only make sure I get in 10 invites a day. Like, she's not one of these people that's going to do 85 invites a day. Like, it's 10, and she's got 2 kids. She's home. She retired her husband. Like, she's like loving life because she's consistent, like every day. You can do 50 invites today, but if you don't invite for the next week and a half, like, it's not helping anybody.
Yeah, and there is no magic, like, everyone has it's not a magic number. It's being consistent. It's doing the vitals. It's finding what works for you and your life in this season of your life.
Yeah.
Because it's going to change. It's going to change. So.
AnneMarie, is your IG business or personal?
Business.
Okay. And then another thing. So when you say look at your hashtags, are you just putting like in the search, put in a hashtag that you put at the bottom of your picture and then you see the people?
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I very rarely post with hashtags. And if I do, it's like, I should do it more, but my posts, maybe I'll hashtag like 2 or 3 hashtags. I'm not one of those people that has like 40 hashtags. I just don't. I mean, going to the search button, clicking up at the search and doing tags and putting in cochlear implant kids. And then I'm getting all of these posts of all these different people. Like, this was like a Santa Claus that came to like somebody's daycare and signed for all of the kids instead of like talking, did sign language. Or a mom whose baby just had their cochlear implant surgery. So I follow this mom.
Do you follow that whole hashtag? Like you hit follow at the top of the hashtag?
I do follow that hashtag just because I love it and I want to see everybody's experiences. But more importantly, this is actually like a big thing. More importantly, I'm going through all of the posts from that hashtag and I'm finding people that I feel like I can click with. Like I won't necessarily click with a mother that has cochlear implants because I don't have them, but I will click with a mom who has a baby with cochlear implants. Even though I am friends with a mom who does have implants and both of her children are hearing, but to me, like when I see a little baby that just had their surgery, like, I'm going to connect with that person, that mom. So I go to those specific pictures that I see and those accounts and I follow those specific people. And then I'm able to post on their things like, oh my gosh, I know how hard that day was. Like, I hope your little one's recovering, like whatever it might be. And then, yeah, start conversations that way.
Okay.
Wait, another question. Got him late, could have missed it. But what point do you follow someone before starting a conversation or invite?
At what point do you follow someone before starting? What does that mean?
Or like
how
probably like,
soon do you say hey to them and start a conversation after I hit this follow button?
Oh, well, first I wait till they follow me back.
Okay.
So if I follow someone and now they're like coming up in my feed, I'm going to start like liking their posts and looking on their Instagram stories. But honestly, if they're not following me back right away, I'm not going to invite them if they're not following me for the most part. Like for me, I want them to be watching my stories and liking my posts. If I follow them and they follow me back, that's when I can start some sort of conversation with them or start going through my stories and seeing them pop up and then inviting them or starting a new conversation or just commenting on their posts.
And that's why you write down their names to remember who you followed.
I don't.
No, you write down their names.
I write down who I invite,
follow you.
who I start conversations with. So I'll actually share my screen really quick. I know you guys, like the call's going to end. But let me share my screen and I'll just show you guys can you guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
So This is just one of the things that I have. So I always have like how many Success Club points I'm at, what's my goal, and then here are my 20 new conversations. This is like, I don't always do this. So this is when I was going for I was like kind of crazy and then I like burned myself out. But this could be 10 instead of 20. I had like doubled everything that was required of me. So 10 new conversations and I'll write down their names. 10 to 15 invites, 10 challenge group invites, 5 coaching opportunity. That can really be 7 challenge group invites, 3 coaching opportunity invites. My affirmations, my PD, what is it? What was my workout? Did I drink my Shakeology? Monday and Wednesday, my engagement post and a workout post, my lifestyle post, my coaching breadcrumb post, and then my follow-ups here. So then I'm able to like kind of go back in time and I will look at whoever I had invited on this day, and then the next week or 2 weeks later, they'll be part of my 40 follow-ups. And I don't even this is just something old that I used to use. Now I just have my iPad and I have a really great planner app on my iPad where I write down all of my invites. But I do not write down people that I follow because that shit takes a lot of time.
yeah, and if you can get them, like, even if they aren't following you yet, but if you can get them to your stories, like,
Yes.
That's where I say, like, hook them with your stories,
Mm-hmm.
show up every day, and if you vibe with them, they're going to keep watching. And then from there, you're going to be able to talk to them.
Sometimes they don't even know that they're like not following you.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, if they're watching your stories,
yeah,
the conversation is good to go.
Yeah, these are good questions.
And for real quick, and for your new people, do you use the same like lines like, hey girl, how are you doing? I see that you've seen my story, and you just like copy and paste it, or no?
For what? For like
when you're trying to make conversation, do you use the same lines or do you change it up?
I change it up like based on the month. I change it up based on if they are just someone who's just like random, listen, people might just be like flopping through your stories really quick. Like you don't know. So I haven't even used that. Like I've just started using that. Like I saw you've seen glimpses of my stories and I'll be like, were you just cheering me on or are you interested in learning more? Like, do you have a health and fitness routine? I change it up all the time. Like I get kind of bored. And if I'm noticing that no one's responding to a specific invite that I'm sending, I'm not going to continue using it. Like if I use that same invite for a week and it's like crickets, I'm going to revamp it for sure. But yeah, copy and paste is your friend. I just make sure that this is something too. Hey girl, no. You need to know their name. So go to their page, even if their name is like, I love Fruity Pebbles, they have a name. More than likely it says their name on their page. So then you realize, oh, their name is Jess. And you write, hey, Jess, and then continue it. So I think all of mine say, hey, Ash, because Ashley Feldison had like created one of the scripts. So I just erase Ash and I change the name. And then sometimes if they're like an infertility mom that has an IVF baby, I will bring that up. I'll say, thanks so much for sharing glimpses of my stories. I saw that you're also an elementary school teacher. That's amazing. What grade do you teach? Or I saw that you also had your baby with IVF. That's awesome. Science rocks. Whatever. So bringing a little bit of like how we're connected into play also.
Do you use the quick, something I've used for a while are quick replies? Like I still edit them, but
yeah, I should though.
So once you get a business profile in your Instagram, you can store up to 20 replies or text or whatever. And you can like, you assign them to a character. So I hit a T and it pops up. So it just saves time. You can still edit it, like put their name in once it's in there, but it saves a little time. Yeah.
But that might take time, like to get it all set up, but it's saving you time in the future.
Oh yeah, totally. Especially if you're like on a follow-up day.
But don't do what Mel did like a couple times and just like accidentally send it. And it was just like, what did it say, Mel? The one time you like sent it and it didn't actually like, it was like invite.
Oh yeah, mine I sent
like I don't hit the little thing, and then it was like sometimes it'll just be like hey, or it'll be like bod, or like something so short, and then I'm like shit, or I'll
You're like, oh my god, totally don't know what happened to my keyboard.
Or I'll mess up the name, and I'm like, they're definitely
like, hey Jessica, and they're like, I'm Aubrey. You're like, fuck. You're like, I don't know where I got that from. It's so weird.
Sorry, my 2-year-old had my phone.
Yeah.
You look like an Aubrey. No, this was great. Any other questions? It's really, really helpful. Because I think this is like always by far the hiccup or like the challenge for someone just getting through this roadblock of like inviting is not scary. It should be exciting because you're showing up. You should have people wanting to like join you because you've created such a happy life.
And there's nothing more exciting than you having like a successful morning of invites and checking your phone like 5 hours later and in your Instagram inbox and seeing all these messages. And you're like, oh my God.
20, 30.
I forgot what happens when you invite. Like you start conversations. Even if they're all like, hey, no thanks. Like you have a new friend on Instagram that you're going to follow up with.
That gives me anxiety because I hate an inbox full of stuff.
So what I do is
you kind of, but then you're going to feel really, really good when it's not full anymore and you've responded to everybody.
Yeah.
You got to think positive.
Yeah, and I don't want to be on my phone with my kids. So like 5 to 8 at night or 5 to 9. I don't really like, I'm with my kids or 4 to 8 or whatever. And I then I've got a ton of messages. This morning was heavy invite day for me. So now I'm going to go through them. But like, I'm fine with like waiting till people also will respect, like I'm a mom and I'm going to answer you when I get to it. It'll be today though. But like, then that can show them like, yes, I'm not on my phone all the time. Like you don't have to be on your phone all the time to do this business.
Yeah. That's one thing I learned that was really important is just if this is your 1 hour or it's your 30 minutes to do invites and you send 3 invites and you see somebody responded, don't you dare check it.
Yeah.
Do not check it. Do not respond. wait until all of your invites are done, because then you're in that rabbit hole of starting a conversation and countering objections and all this shit when you could have just had 20 more invites done, but you just like were crazy and needed to get back to them. I've done it a million times. But get the invites all done first before you start responding to people, because you will never finish them. That's a good tip. Forgot
Good
about
tip.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's something that like naturally happens now to me, but like I used to in the past, I'd be like, oh my God, they might buy a challenge pack. Let me get back to them like right now. And like, did they buy a challenge pack? 9 times out of 10, probably not. So
And like, unless it's like January 31st and you need it for Success Club,
right.
like it's okay
Exactly.
if it's like a couple hours later, or you're like a couple minutes like after your timer goes off to do the thing you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
It's not like it's not life or death. It's just, I mean, we should be like answering, but we also have lives.
Yeah. Amen.
Okay.
All right.
Big
It's late.
cheese. I'm going to take a picture. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you guys thank you, AnneMarie, so much.
Thank you for having me.
And
Awesome.
if you guys, seriously, if you have any questions, we'll let you know. But
Let's
this
be
is
friends
so
on
helpful.
Instagram. Be my friend.
Yeah.
I'll invite you accidentally. I'm just kidding.
I already invited someone that signed up with me on Instagram because she reached out to me on Facebook.
Oh, and you're like, I don't know you. You look way different over here.
Like I saw her on my Instagram and I like sent her a full-blown invite, but she's in an MLM too. So I dead serious like messaged her immediately after. I was like, that's embarrassing. She's like, been there.
I messaged my cousin today and I was like, hey, Kath, how you doing? Saw you catching glimpses of my story. I'm like, fuck, sorry, Kathleen. I thought it was a totally different person. She's like, LOL, Anne, that was hardcore. I'm like,
yep.
But whatever. You can, if you're screwing up, that means you're working. That's how I always feel. Like if you screwed up an invite and accidentally re-invite or whatever you did, you invited. It's okay.
That's a win. Yep.
Although it's awkward.
It'll get like, you'll do a lot more awkward things.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Kind of fail forward in this business, and that's should be failing weekly.
Yep. All right.
All
right. Thanks, guys.
So
I'll have the recording up and I'll send it to you guys.
Sounds great. Thanks.
All right. Thanks again, AnneMarie. Bye.